Old and in the way, sisters, laugh and learn with me, Janet.
And me, Nancy.
The
Bitchin'
Bitchin' Sisters,
Sisters.
as we tell it like it is, the way it was back then and the mess we're in now.
We're growing old in a new world with skyrocketing costs, crazy fashions, changing norms, and I hate to remind you, with limited time left.
Yeah.
We've got some practical ideas that might work for you.
And we definitely have some opinions that you might have too.
We'll entertain you and inform you. Let's look back at how it was and ahead to what's coming.
And if you're young, maybe you can learn something from your elders. Supposedly we're wise, but we've definitely been there and done that.
What are we doing now?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, most of the time I do things with my other half, and that's what I call him. He's more than enough for me. He meets my need for a sense of belonging. When I'm hurting, he listens. When I need comforting, he gives me a big hug. His sense of humor is incredible. And his conversation keeps me company for as long as I want all day. Occasionally, I enjoy the company of a girlfriend, someone to go shopping with or go to a play with, have lunch, sit and knit with. But when I think of my two closest friends, one has a husband who she does things with too. Plus her family lives in the same town as them, and her hobby is not knitting, but rather horses. So she goes places with her horse friends. Still, we make it a point to meet once a month to catch up.
Oh, crazy horse lady, in other words, yeah.
I look forward to these times, and I relish our conversations. And the other friend I have is retired and has been widowed for 5 years now.
Oh, yeah, you told me about her.
Yeah, I think she's been here. She has carved out a new life for herself, playing cards bi-weekly, cleaning the church, and hanging out with other women who share a similar lifestyle. I get it. I would do the same thing if I were a widow. In fact, I was a widow.
Yeah, you were.
I am a widow. At 52 years old, my husband of 13 years died. And I, 2 years younger, I had to find my way again. I was still working, so I had a life during the daytime. But I have to tell you, at night, I was desolate. It was silent.
You didn't say much. You didn't reach out to your
No.
sister, but we weren't very close. And you know.
The night seemed drawn out, taking forever to get through. No one to interact with. I had a choice. I could remain alone, or I could venture out. I chose the latter eventually.
How old were you?
50. But instead of joining a card group,
Yeah.
I did it my own way. I started riding a Harley motorcycle. It was more my style. And I met a whole new group of people. One who eventually came over to check my oil.
I know, we've always said, change my oil.
And who I've been with ever since. It could have been different. I get why my girlfriends who are widows or new to the area seek each other out or join clubs. The tricky part for me is I want to stay friends with them so I don't lose them as friends, but I still want to have a full life with my other half, and I'm finding that you can't have it both ways that much. I'll admit I'm basically afraid that if he dies, I'll be alone because my few woman friends have left me in the dust. No one will come and visit, I think, and I'll go days without even uttering a word. No one will touch my hand.
I mean, this is what you think will happen.
I might as well be a chair. But my widowed friend is showing me what to do, and if that happens.
I've got a widowed friend who also plays cards
Really?
every Tuesday night. You know who you are, and she is on the board of a friends organization, and she became their treasurer. She's really busy with that. She's helping out at this place while someone is out on pregnancy leave. You know, she's found things. And then she's got the TV on a lot.
Oh,
to keep her company too,
yeah.
and friends. She has friends. too,
And my friend has a cat, and it's an indoor cat, and so she says it's really saved her amongst all the other things. So I think they're making their way, building a new life with new relationships. In the meantime,
What?
I need to accept the fact that my widowed friends have established networks that help keep them involved in life. And I may have to find new friends if and when that time comes for me. You know, it might not be them because they've moved on, but I'll have to get out there, like your friend and my friend. Mm-hmm. You know, finding, like, I know that you're involved in some clubs.
Yeah. Sometimes more, sometimes less. You know, my interests change or evolve, shall we say. But yeah. But if Mark were to croak before me, which who knows, he's the one who encourages me to go out and do things and to socialize. I would stay here much more at home. So, but then I've never been through what you were through. So maybe I wouldn't be like that after all.
Well, and your
I don't want to find out.
Your family is close by too. Mine isn't.
Yeah. We actually are very lucky that way. We have between us we had 5 kids, and we still have relatives living as close as right across the road. That so rarely happens. You know, we got to our grandkids. Many of them have grown up with us. Being coming here for every time the parents needed a babysitter, we were happy to see the kids.
Yeah,
we've had that, but then they grow up, and as old people are likely to say, they have their own lives to lead, and you really only see them on special occasions, unless you make a special arrangement with them.
and especially as they get older and they have sports and other hobbies.
Right.
So
it's difficult.
So I think I've had a great model in my girlfriend who's a widow. And if history repeats itself for me, I will probably find my way in an unconventional way. After all, what would life be if we had no courage to attempt something new? I often said to Jesse growing up, my son, what's the worst that could happen? And if we can accept that, to go for it. So I'm glad I thought this out. I'm glad that I took the time to write this down. Now I feel better about meeting my friends less often. There'll be other friends, new life. I'm okay now with it. Forget the chair. I'm a chameleon, ever-changing.
Oh, and wait, I thought you were like something like a banana or a cherry or something, and we were talking about that before. But you haven't mentioned this, and this is something that's happened to me. A number of my friends with whom I was close have passed away.
Oh, yeah, that happens too.
And you have to seek new friends.
Yeah.
And also I found, like, when I've been retired for 15 years, but when I was working, those people that I saw on a daily basis, they became friends, many of them, but very few of them have lasted through my retirement. You have other friends who have maybe more in common with you than just the work situation. So, you know, I think that has been interesting for me to find out. People who I choose to be my friends instead of who happen to be in the next office with me or something. Not that there's anything wrong with those people. Some of them were great people, but yeah.
So life changes.
Oh, yeah.
We can count on that.
And here we are, the
Bitchin' Sisters. Janet and I come to you twice a month with new episodes. Some are funny, some are serious, some are just our crazy opinions. I hope you enjoyed our show.
Me too. It's been a pleasure. We are Nancy and Janet, the
Bitchin' Sisters.
Music by Hall and Sidnor.
Sometimes things aren't what they seem to be. Sometimes we see just what we want to see. Like a nearsighted monkey up a lemon tree.